Godzilla Minus One is out in theaters, new Japanese film from Toho, the long-running producing company of all the Japanese Godzilla films starting all the way back in the 1950s. It has no relation to the currently ongoing MonsterVerse done in the West, in Hollywood, where Godzilla x Kong is coming out soon and Monarch Legacy of Monsters is currently running on Apple TV+. That's a separate, cinematic universe. As far as anyone's concerned, this Minus One film is a completely standalone movie. And I believe it's the first time ever that a Godzilla picture is a period piece. It takes place in the late 1940s, opening with a sequence at the very end of the Second World War, where the main character Koichi lands his kamikaze plane at a small island for repairs. But it turns out that the plane didn't need repairs, and he just chickened out of his assigned responsibility to take a suicide mission and escape the fight. But before that can have real consequences, he becomes one of the only survivors of a Godzilla attack on this small army outpost. At this point in time, Godzilla is still relatively small, about the size of a T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Then we fast forward to after the war. Koichi is back in the ruined Tokyo trying to pick up the pieces of his old life. He's racked with shame and guilt, survivor's guilt for not dying for his country like so many others did. He's depressed, he's shunned by many others in society. He manages to find a job on a boat that's supposed to find and disarm or explode leftover sea mines from the war. But then one day reports start coming in about other boats being attacked by a mysterious, humongous creature that seems to be heading straight for Tokyo. That creature turns out to, of course, be Godzilla. Only since the last time we saw him, he has been subjected to radiation as a result of the Bikini Atoll atomic tests. And now he's extremely large, extremely destructive, and extremely pissed off. So, I'm very happy to say this. This is the latest in the string of really solid movies released at the end of 2023. It's like third or fourth in a row, which I really enjoyed. In fact, some people who are lifelong fans of the entire Godzilla franchise are saying online that it might be the best one of them all. I only saw a couple, mostly the recent ones, the Western ones, and based on that comparison, I have to agree wholeheartedly. There is one thing in particular which I think other kaiju movies struggle with, and that is marrying the Godzilla catastrophic disaster movie with the personal human story. See, if you removed Godzilla from this film, it would still be a pretty compelling movie about guilt, PTSD, learning to find new reasons to live. And if you removed the human story and just kept Godzilla, it would still be a pretty good horror disaster movie about this unstoppable force of a monster. And combining the two together somehow makes the movie better than the sum of its parts even. And it all really fits together quite well in the end. I like the performances and the character arc. All of the side characters are very likable and you want to see them succeed. You root for them really easily. I like the mature themes explored and the difficult questions raised. Even just the fact that Godzilla, like in its very origins, is not really used as just a giant monster. He's sort of a metaphor to explore some other stuff, and it's a very serious film, especially compared to the Western ones, to the modern Western ones. I mean, just look at the trailer for Godzilla x Kong. These monsters at this point are just running around smashing each other on their heads. This is a very different beast of a film. I liked a couple of the cheesy but earned moments in the final act. I liked how the characters figure out a really creative way to try and combat Godzilla. And I also liked Godzilla itself. Aside from the thing I just talked about a moment ago, I think just the design is incredible and he really feels like God's reckoning, like this unstoppable, uncaring force. The atomic breath scenes in particular are possibly the most powerful I've seen, especially in a movie theater with roaring loud sound and on a big screen. They really have a huge impact. And by the way, the film looks and sounds fantastic, and the shocking thing is apparently it cost $15 million to make. I struggle to conceive how that's even possible because again, the CGI looks really fucking great. And if you compare it to Hollywood movie budgets nowadays, that's like peanuts. I mean, look at Disney, for example, spending $150 million on Secret Invasion this year. That was mostly just Samuel L. Jackson sitting in dark rooms talking to people. Or $200 million on the Marvels, which had action, had CGI, but wasn't impressive by any stretch. In fact, it looked shaky at times. Where does the money go? I mean, I feel like Hollywood has something to learn from Japanese filmmakers, because the fact that Minus One was created with this level of quality on such a small budget is nothing short of amazing. In any case, I think the film is an absolute treat for fans of big monsters, but crucially, and as strangely as it may seem, it is also just a really good movie that can be enjoyed even if you don't care about Godzilla or other science fiction stuff. Solid picture.